This is what it's about right here. Dropping advice, how I would start learning cybersecurity in 2024 if I had to start over again by Mad Hat. Let's check it out.
It's almost 2024 and you want to get into a cybersecurity analyst job? What do? How do you get started? And how do you do it fast? Who's this weirdo in a mask? I'm just a gaming nerd who's now moved on from one Fortune 500 cybersecurity analyst job to another. And I'm proud to say I'm finally making a six-figure salary. Money. And you can too. Well, in as little as 6 months to 1 year, that is. You can go from this to this. Who doesn't want to work remote staring at these all day, making $50 an hour? So
it's a great intro. Oh my gosh. But true though, I mean, 6 months to a year. That's fast. That's real fast from going from McDonald's, which you can absolutely do, into security. That's real quick. We'll see how he would do it.
Surprisingly, I get asked this a lot still, even though I've talked about the topic a lot. But in case some of you are still confused or don't believe that you can do it, listen up. Here's some things that you can do today while working a full-time job and slowly but surely working your way towards a cybersecurity analyst job of your dreams. First, let's clarify. What do I mean by a cybersecurity analyst job? Because that seems to confuse a lot of you beginners out there coming into this field. This is not a cybersecurity analyst job. This is a cybersecurity analyst job. As this
Yeah, generally speaking, that's true, right? You're not doing coding, at least certainly not in-depth coding, programming, as an entry-level cybersecurity professional. You're looking at logs. You're looking at logs are basically files, events, computer events, network events, system events that occurred, and figuring out, did something bad happen? Is this benign behavior, malicious behavior? Figuring out who, what, when, why, and how, and moving on from there.
This person so eloquently said in one of my comments in a previous video, cybersec is far closer to IT than engineering. I'd rather write cybersecurity software than use cybersecurity software. They hit the nail right on the head with analyst positions. You use cybersecurity software to analyze activity that people are doing on computers and servers. It's that simple. You don't need to know how to code like a software engineer. You'll notice the same comment also mentioned landing a cybersecurity analyst job themselves after programming just a few years as a hobby. That's because understanding the fundamentals of programming most likely means that they know the basics of how a computer and network works.
Absolutely. Programming will tremendously help you, especially as you niche down further and further and move up the food chain, as long as you remain technical and right, you're not going like the managerial route or the IT auditing route. There are non-technical domains within cybersecurity, but oftentimes the more technical ones can hyper specialize in coding. Not required for all of them. Some of them, obviously, right? If you want to do application security, you're going to need to know coding.
Knowing programming is always a plus, but simply not what we do. If I had to dumb down an explanation of what an analyst does, I'd say it's a glorified data analyst. You've heard of those, right? People working in Excel sheets to clean up data and numbers, so more important people in the business can get the too long didn't read version of it.
How do you save a document in Microsoft Excel? How do you save a document, Carl?
It's kind of true as an analyst. It's one of the many tools you will use is Excel, and it oftentimes can be used to simplify concepts for executives or managers, but it's also to help you figure out what is the actual root of the problem, or where are the problems, how big are the problems.
I hit file, and then I hit save.
Just like that, it begins.
Well, us analysts look at the data in programs that kind of look like Excel, if I was being honest, and determine if the data we're seeing is reason for alarm.
No reason for alarm.
All for the sake of protecting data, company data. We spend all day looking at data to protect it. It truly is a beautiful symbiotic relationship we have.
It's more exciting than he makes it out to be. Yes, you're looking at data. Okay, when you break it down like that, that is what we do. But it's more exciting. We got pretty graphs and charts that we also look at.
Analysts guard the data, and in turn, we get Lamborghinis and mansions. It's a good deal, right? All right, well, you get the point. So at its core, you need to understand 3 things. How to use a computer intimately, how networks work, but we're just friends, and basic principles of cybersecurity. Think CIA triad. And once you've got all that, you can start applying to jobs. All right, Madhat, shut up already about what the job is. How do I get started? With Coursera, of course. I know, who would have saw that coming? Listen up. I've done my time programming, going through an on-campus 4-year cybersecurity university program. I've worked 3 jobs related to technical support with some security mixed in.
I gotta pause him right here. Coursera, I did a ton of stuff on Coursera when I first started. It was a great entry-level, beginning, easy to use, very affordable compared to some of the other options. One, you don't need a college degree. You don't need a degree in tech, in computer science, or directly in cybersecurity to get a job in cybersecurity. Let's dispel that myth immediately. Don't need it. Training, you're absolutely going to need training. Coursera is an okay place to start.
And now 1 fully fledged security job going into my 2nd security job. So I know a little bit about how to get into the field. But if you still don't believe what I'm about to cover, let's see what AI thinks. How do I start learning cybersecurity fast and get a job fast? In ChatGPT AI. Oh, look at that! Coursera.
Coursera can be one of many tools to help train you up and prepare you. In my opinion, it doesn't move the needle quite so much. It's great at entry level, but it's not going to, at least it didn't help me get job opportunities. There are other things you need to do. You need hands-on practice. You can do that through projects, you can do that through certifications. There are some certifications that will help you get interviews because they're recognized by HR, and when you put them on your resume, it'll bypass the ATS tracking system that says, hey, this person has the certain qualifications that we want to get you to that point. There are many other pillars. Coursera is fine to start with, but it's certainly not the end all be all, and I wouldn't even say it's for intermediate to advanced.
If you're just starting a cybersecurity job from ground zero, like literally never did any IT work before, and have barely touched your computer, Coursera is one of the best platforms available right now.
So that's the part I agree with. If you're brand new, you don't have a background in IT, that's where Coursera can really come in and really shine, because it helps to break into IT first, get your foot into the IT door, and then pivot into cybersecurity. Coursera is probably not the platform. I would be really shocked if anyone went from, you're working at McDonald's or wherever, only did Coursera and jumped straight into security. I'd be flabbergasted. Like that is not the norm. That's not going to be the norm. But even Coursera and directly into IT didn't work for me. I had to get some CompTIA certs and do some other training, do some projects. So again, one of many tools.
To get started, yesterday. And yes, for all of you wondering, this video is sponsored by Coursera because they know their works. They're so confident that their program works that they're offering a New Year's special offer for $200 off their 1-year sub. So you get 12 months access for $16 a month with a
I want to say Coursera is normally $49 a month if you're doing the month-to-month subscription. I generally don't recommend paying for any platform for an entire year. You don't need one singular platform generally for an entire year unless you're on like Hack the Box or Try Hack Me and your goal is to 100% it. You're a completionist and you want to do all of it, then okay. But often most programs like training sites, 1, 2, maybe 3 months, you get the information you need and you're out.
14-day money-back guarantee. That's a Netflix subscription, folks. Stop Netflix and chill and start Coursera until you get that damn cybersecurity job. Now, I've already covered the Google cybersecurity program here. Watch the video if you'd like an in-depth analysis of that. Everyone should start with this certificate, then move on to CompTIA's Security Plus, and then start beefing up your resume. It's that simple. You get computer basics, network.
So this part's kind of crazy to me. He's implying you can go from whatever, outside of tech straight into security. That was not the case for me. I know Unix Guy has said you can get into maybe like educational security, user awareness training type of security. Some other folks would say you can get into IT auditing as entry level. You can bypass entry level IT by doing governance, risk, compliance, which is ensuring that the security systems and protocols are doing what they actually say they are. You're not the one actually implementing those tools and systems. You're just checking to see, is the box checked? Is it working the way it's supposed to? So I've seen those as 2 entry points directly into security, but generally speaking, most folks, like 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, start in entry-level IT. And yeah, I get it's not like the big sexy, right? Working at help desk or desktop support, but it teaches you fundamentally necessary skills that if you miss out on, you will potentially really struggle in your security career. You're not losing time by doing these, by spending time in IT. When you can get networking knowledge or system administration knowledge, that is going to absolutely transfer on over into security and super help you out. So I get, we have bills to pay and people to provide for, we have responsibility on our shoulders, and it's really tough, cutting your salary down potentially if, you're working somewhere else, you're making good money, maybe you just hate it, and you want to transition into security because it can afford you a similar lifestyle, maybe a better lifestyle, but you got bills to pay, so it's really tough saying, oh yeah, I'll just do entry-level IT for a year or two and go for that massive pay cut. That's tough. I don't think that you can do Coursera and do 6 months to a year of training on Coursera and expect to get a 6-figure salary in security. That's just not the norm.
Networking and security principles with just those 2 certificates under your belt. But wait, did you know Coursera has even more programs? I mean, that's kind of the point of a subscription, right? You get access to everything. They have Cisco's Cybersecurity Operations Fundamentals Specialization, which can prepare you for the CCNA if you're looking to get in a cybersecurity analyst role.
The CCNA is networking focused, particularly it's obviously Cisco proprietary networking, but Cisco's the big dog in the networking world, so going that route's a pretty safe bet anyway. You don't need it. It's good knowledge to have. CompTIA has the Network Plus. Having networking knowledge is necessary, but you don't necessarily need those certifications to get into security.
That uses Cisco devices. They also have Palo Alto Networks Cybersecurity Professional
Similar to
Certificate,
Cisco,
which can be especially useful knowledge to have since Palo Alto is giving Cisco a run for its money as a leading security appliance vendor.
Hey, what happened?
If you ever plan on getting your CISSP, and I highly recommend it,
CISSP is the golden standard of certifications in cybersecurity. Why? I have no idea, but every job asks for it. It's meant for leadership. It's meant for management. I think recently they've had like sub niches for it, where you can get one for like engineering and it's a little bit more technical, but you need 5 years of experience to qualify for the certification. It's not like CompTIA where Security Plus recommends 2 years. The CISSP requires 5 years, potentially 4 if you have a certification, but you need someone to vouch for your experience. It's not just something if you're, working in a warehouse right now, you should not go get the CISSP.
which, if you haven't seen my certificate video, it reigns supreme. I don't care what all the haters say, but you might want to check out the ISC's Certified in Cybersecurity Specialization, which can prepare you to take ISC's convoluted exams. Have you seen my last video where I talk about how Python coding can get you even further along in cybersecurity? Boom! Crash Course in Python.
Yes, Python will take you further in security. It's not necessary to get started. But at the end of the day, I really liked Coursera. I've done a lot of their courses. I have a few certificates from them. Totally worth checking out. But again, not the only resource I would use.
Now, those are just a few programs that I highly recommend you check out on their site to get started in 2024. The year is quickly coming to an end, and 2024 is your year to finally get out of that dead-end job and into a career that will last your lifetime. We're talking endless opportunity, endless pay bumps, and endless fun. Well, I think it's fun anyways. So what are you waiting for? The links are down below. Get going.
He's not wrong with the endless opportunities and endless pay bumps. It's crazy. The sky is the limit. There's virtually no limit to how you can keep progressing. Right? As a teacher, the only way to get higher would be if you want to go into management, into administration. And it might be similar for whatever profession you're in. Unless you go management, maybe you've reached that peak of what you can earn, what you can do in security. You can rock it on up. You can rock it on up to so many different positions, and you can stay technical. You can go the management route, they make a ton of money, or you can stay technical, and they might even make even more money, depending on what niche you go into. Absolutely true. Great video. Don't fully agree with all of the information in terms of, particularly, I would use other systems, other programs, other certifications to help bolster my chances of getting a job, my resume, doing some projects. Coursera is a great tool, but you got to combine that with some other free source, freemium opportunities to help you along the way. But again, big shout out to Mad Hat here. Super entertaining videos. He does a great job with his editing. Love it a lot. Check it out. I'll put the link in the description below. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one.